Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my review of Netflix Resident Evil as a whole series. I've done episode 1 review. I did that drunk last Friday, I think it was. I sort of put it on as a bit of a joke whilst I was waiting for a friend to turn up. Yeah, bottle of wine later, I did a review because my friend still hadn't turned up. I wasn't going to review it. It was abysmal. And obviously, you know, I sort of said I don't think it's going to get any better. And you know what, in fairness, I wasn't planning on watching it, to continue watching it, because it was so bad. But I have watched it now, and I might as well get something out of my time. So you guys get extra content as well. And it's a win-win, I guess. Now, because of how Netflix do things, I can't show any footage. Loads of people always reference, like, they copyright claim, is my point. They clamp right down. I can't show any footage as a result of that. So I'll try and drag as many sort of images to reference some key bits and pieces as much as I can. It's not going to be a majorly long review either. This is quintessentially what is wrong with Netflix as a whole. This is genuinely terrible. It's a terrible show. It's terribly written. There are many things to dislike about this show from a narrative and writing perspective. And the problem is that there were some good elements, but it's just so inconsistent. This is a committee filmmaking at its best. Well, or worst. However you want to look at it. This is quintessential committee filmmaking. So I would talk full spoilers, and I just want to pick out some key bits and pieces which I thought was funny but dumb. It's Resident Evil. It's following Albert Wesker and his 2 daughters. They're twins, yet they're not twins because one is Asian, I think. Adult version looked Asian. Younger version looked Latino. So, or Latina, whatever is the correct term. So, bit curious about that one. And if you don't believe me, they're on the screen. It was a bit of a weird change, to be fair, but never mind. And then the other one is black, so they're twins, but they're not twins. They're clones, but they're not clones. They're recreations, Albert Wesker's creations. We don't really understand. They're not fully explained. But they have been made strong. They've been made strong for a reason, because Albert Wesker himself is a clone. In fact, there were 3 clones, and the original Albert Wesker, these are all played by Lance Reddick, did his best Blade impression. I kid you not. If I can find an image, it will be on the screen. I don't understand it. I genuinely don't understand it. So basically, in this timeline, in this canon, in this universe, Albert Wesker presumably still works for Umbrella, I guess, is a badass Blade thing. He clones himself, rapid aging. So at 6 months old, they're 20, which is why the Albert Wesker we follow in the show, the cloned Albert Wesker, requires the creation of the daughters because he injects himself with their blood, basically, to stop himself from degrading. If it sounds convoluted, it is. But anyway, Albert Wesker, the original, the Blade Albert Wesker, gets tracked down by Umbrella Corp, and they then threaten to kill everyone, so Albert Wesker kills everyone, basically, almost, tries to, and then runs away. And we don't ever hear where he is. Apparently he died somewhere, in a volcano or something. Don't really understand. Very strange, super odd. Really odd. Now, there are nods to the games and things like that, but by and large, it's not. There is actually a nod to another game. I think it's called We Happy Few. Umbrella Corp in this universe makes a drug called Joy that makes you very happy, but it's a version of the T-virus as well. So too much of that will obviously turn you into a no, they're called zeros, not called zombies, called zeros. And then just makes everything else monstrous as well. And this is where the inconsistencies come in. So the zombies are terrible, but then they spend some really good money on CGI crocodile, which looked great. Actually, genuinely looked great. CGI caterpillar, pretty good. Not amazing, but pretty good. CGI spider. Yeah, Dad, like, pretty good. Yeah, I like that one. Zombos look terrible. The Zambinis are awful. Like, genuinely terrible. You know, I could stick toilet paper to my face, squirt ketchup all over me, and I would be a better looking zombie than them. So that's embarrassing. And anyway, we're following this story of these two sisters, how one gets infected. It's split between 2 times, one in the future, one in the past. How one gets infected and is basically the start of the entire zombie apocalypse. Billy Wesker. And then the other one, Jade Wesker, who wants to stop the zombie apocalypse. And Jade is our main character. She's our point of view character. And this is where the really awful writing comes in play. At one point, she returns home to the university, which is a ship. So it's an isolated, non-infected area. It's completely isolated. And she thinks she's figured out a pheromone, which one zombie has evolved to excrete. She thinks she's figured it out. So what she does is bring a zombie on board the ship and not tell anyone. And let her kid watch her walk up to a zombie. Now, naturally, that's dumb ass, isn't it? And so obviously what happens then, ladies and gents, is the zombie breaks free and escapes and tries to go after her child. Now, in the process, that zombie then finds a woman, Jade's colleague, who's working elsewhere on the ship at this point, who Jade, just the day before, realised she was 2 months pregnant. Oh, and that zombie murders her. This is how terrible this character is written. She's so incredibly unlikable, and yet she's our main character. I understand characters having flaws, but holy shit. And this is just one in a long list of things. When they're kids, she's incredibly unlikable. So again, she's our point of view character. And when they're kids, her sister, Billy Wesker, has been bitten. They learn that there's like 3 days, that they're going to go through stages, and that she's going to potentially turn into a zombie. And just at the point, literally within the hour that she could turn into a zombie, what is Jade Wesker doing? Talking to a little boy, as in a teenage boy, because she wants to get with him. And so Billy Wesker naturally is really annoyed with her sister, as you would be. But Billy Wesker isn't our point of view character, because she's now portrayed as the evil one, when actually she's the sympathetic one. This is terrible, terrible writing. It's an awful show. Again, good ideas, like clones, like Albert Wesker clones, good idea. Execution, real bad. All played by Lance Reddick. One like has a beard and then doesn't. And like, Lance Reddick's a great actor. He's very, very good, but criminally underused in this series. The main actress that plays Jade Wesker, awful, genuinely terrible. Everyone around her dies. She's a terrible actress. She's a terrible character. There is very few redeeming things about this. And if you compare it to Resident Evil, the movie series, there's barely even any tits and arse. So, for us red-blooded men wanting to look at some tits and arse, you don't even get that. It's proper poo. Did I even mention, ladies and gents, at one point Jade Wesker tells her daughter to abandon the ship. Right, she's like, there's a bag under the bed. You need to abandon the ship. When there's loads of zombies running around, because Jade Wesker called them. And she's like, oh my god, where is she? Was she left? Oh my god, she did what I told her to do. Oh, I best go save her. You're an idiot. And then her kid gets taken by Billy Wesker at the end of the series. And Jade Wesker's shot. And you know all I could think of? Is that's the equivalent of Child Protective Services coming in and being like, you're a shit mum, I'm going to take your kid. Good. It was terrible. Don't watch it. They're very long episodes. They are hour-long episodes. I can't see this getting a second season. Maybe it will. I can't see it. I know there's people that like it, but it's bad writing. It's bad writing. I said in my episode 1 review that, ladies and gents, you know, this woman, Jade Wesker, has been out in the sticks for 6 months, working with zombies, trying to study them. She's not once thought she was going to get cut. She didn't bring a gun. What are you doing? Not only that, ladies and gents, when they're trying to study this evolved zombie, they're like, oh, we need to recreate saliva. Hours go past with them trying to recreate saliva. Until one of them just goes, oh, we'll just spit in it instead. Yeah, dumbass. You don't need to recreate saliva. You create it yourself. You should just be able to do it. Why are you trying to... What is this show? Awful writing. Awful, awful writing. Also, ladies and gentlemen, consider checking out my Teespring store. Supporting the channel via this way does go a long way. But also, not only that, you do get to wear some awesome merch. These are one-of-a-kind designs designed for me by my graphic designer. We, of course, have our Clown World line, which is in mugs, hoodies, t-shirts. We've got Space Jeebus. And then for something a little bit different, we, of course, have right down at the bottom right here, we have our Pulsar GTIR. Also, ladies and gentlemen, consider checking out and supporting my second channel, which is Car Nonsense. This is a vlog and car channel. You can find links to this in the description box, along with my Teespring. Please do consider supporting.